Hello, mamas. Have you ever noticed that phenomenon where dudes will do the most despicable, horrendous things, murder, double murder, the other things, and suddenly, like clockwork, there appears John 3:16 in their Instagram bio like a week later. There appears Saved by Christ, cross emoji, in their bio. Okay, before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'm not coming for religion at all. Done that, gotten my lashes already. I'm simply coming for the crazy little phenomenon, the little escape hatch that fellas will use to absolve themselves of guilt, and specifically guilt of horrendous proportions. And I'm talking about this today because there has been plenty of high-profile examples of this, of celebrities doing horrendous stuff, and then suddenly they're like, "But I'm saved by Jesus!" And it's like, "Oh, where did that come from? You were rapping about lean 4 minutes ago. What? Okay, you're saved by okay." And specifically, I'm talking about this because I just watched the most batshit crazy podcast between not podcast, it was an interview between that Andrew Callahan guy and Shia LaBeouf from the Transformers movies, most recently Megalopolis, crazy ass movie, and he recently got into this altercation where he beat up two gay men in like a Mardi Gras party, and was in jail, got released on like bond and stuff. And I don't know who the fuck his publicist is or why they let him do this, but he went on this podcast and he was like, listen, I'm a Catholic, and went on this big rant. And he was one memorable quote that's doing the rounds is him saying when I just see big scary gay dudes or big gay dudes, I get scared. And then he's the interviewer's like,
I know I'm fucking deep off into the Bible. I know what the Bible says
about
homosexuality.
What does it say?
Nah.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
And so the rest of the interview just kind of spirals into him mentioning how let Jesus take the wheel kind of vibes. And I was like, why does this sound so familiar? I know this is a classic playbook, but who has done this before? And then I remembered a fairly prominent one, Kanye West, classic. Name a crime. Okay, let's put into context all his controversies from from the stealing microphone from Taylor Swift moment to 2018 when he started making gospel music. And it was almost it felt like a PR tactic to flip the narrative that to accumulate as much bad press and notoriety as that man did. Only God could save him, truly. But all of these things have made me really think about this isn't just a celebrity kind of PR tactic to turn your image around. This is something that happens very commonly amongst people that I grew up with, because I grew up Christian, and I'll log on to Facebook and it's okay, I'm not laughing, but it'll be a guy that I went to high school with. It'll be killed someone with a DUI, family of 4, and then they're at church, just went to confession and all is absolved. It's what the fuck are we doing? No. And I'm seeing so many TikToks and tweets of people just kind of affirming this noticement. What the fuck am I saying? This noticing. That's something else. I don't want to say noticing. I feel I heard that's anyways. And so today I'd like to dive into the psychology of how and why people do that. And coming from a perspective of someone who used to have so much Catholic guilt about everything, obviously not murder, but I understand that mental pathway that way, because this is the main problem that I have with this whole thing. Obviously, no problem at all with people turning to religion in like a hard part of their life, or even after they've done something bad. Like, no, that is not the issue, and that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about is the people that only do that and don't actually face repercussions or atone to their crimes in, you know, the tangible world of like law and order. They're only doing it extrajudiciously through like, they'll do like one confession at their church and be like, okay, triple homicide, cleared, clean. Like it. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? So the best example that I can give about this phenomenon, I really wish there was a word for it. There probably is, but you know me, I'll do my fucking research. Is also, this might be so old, this episode. I'm filming this like I'm about to go on a giant expedition into goddamn an island somewhere. Not that island. Hello. Not that one. So this is the most I've ever pre-recorded. I don't even know I might even be alive by this time. YouTube is just odd. I'm just scheduling these uploads. But anyways, so I hope this is still relevant by now. I mean, it will be. Mark Wahlberg, who most recently I'll only remember he exists when I'll pass like a Wahlburgers in an airport. I'm like, oh yeah, that man still exists. He is like a early 2000. He was an actor that was like really big in early 2000s, like cop movies. I just rewatched The Departed. Played very good cop in that. But what a lot of people forget is that when he was younger, fully just did a hate crime. And I'm not saying, you know how people just throw around, they're like, I just got a hate crime, blah, 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 blah. No, like he actually followed 2 Vietnamese men and hit them with like poles and permanently blinded one of them. And he did 45 days in jail of a 2-year sentence. I don't know why. I don't know how he got off. But anyways, after that incident, did the full like Catholic routine, PR routine. I get like ads for some reason. I've figured out how to like turn off targeting ads, so they're just giving me like whatever. They're just giving me bullshit. But like I'll get ads for his like prayer app sometimes, and it's so confusing. But he did this whole like kind of Catholic rebrand after this like horrific like hate crime, and I think I can't remember what other things he did too. But here's the kicker. In 2014, he was looking to the courts to like get a pardon on his conviction because he wanted to like expand some businesses. Probably fucking Wahlburgers. Wahlburgers is probably the only reason why we know about this. And it turns out that the original victim, the one that he left with like permanent eye damage, I think he like fully blinded him when he like assaulted him, came forward and said that Mark Wahlberg never even reached out to him like at all after that sentence. So that is kind of like the perfect example of only looking to religion to absolve you of your guilt and not actually trying to like rectify what you've done. Because I'm sure listen, I don't understand why you can't do both. Or maybe the psychology is like people that do this phenomenon where they do something bad and the way they absolve their guilt is through religion. Maybe they feel like, okay, like that's enough. I don't actually have to do anything further in like the tangible like agnostic world where like laws and consequence, like they'll do the bare minimum on that end. But I don't know. And it really bugs me because like I'm sure to them it feels like, oh, they're actually like clear. And like if you just follow the Bible like completely, or like you follow not even Bible, because this is honestly like, and I'll get to it later, this is like not religion specific. So this is not Catholic specific, this is not even Christian specific. I've seen this phenomenon happen in like pretty much every single well, I've never seen like a Shintoist be like, sorry, stabbed you with my sword, time to turn to Shinto. Like, I don't think I've seen that before. I am sure there is some like scary ass like like weeaboo who has done something horrible that is going to try that one day. But okay, I know I said I wasn't going to single out a religion, but just to speak from experience, to talk about what I know, like personally, is with Catholicism. It's, one of the driving factors of that whole religion is guilt. That's like a main driver for a lot of how you operate through life as a Catholic. And what I mean by that is, like, in a healthy way. I mean, I think it's intended to be in a healthy way. Like, there's all these different kind of operations and methods you can absolve yourself of guilt with. But I feel like they, at least at the church that I went to, like, they taught it in like more of a healthy way. Like they were like, okay, if you do something bad, you go to confession, you do like the holy sacrament of like penance or whatever it is, and then you also have to, like, in I keep wanting to say the real world, but let me the tangible world, this earthly world, you have to like make amends there too. But I think that too often, people just call it a day at that first part, and they say, that's enough for me. That's enough. I feel good enough going to the confession booth and saying, well, I was smoking a meth pipe, going 200 down the freeway, and wiped out a family of 4. Like, but like, if I had to put myself in the shoes of, like, I don't know, say like a murderer, that like to have like that amount of guilt. And these people that like just like suddenly flip to religion after doing something really bad. I think a lot of the time too, they're people that like had never really had any religion before. Like, there's so many people who were like just like doing they're coasting through life, and then all of a sudden they do a horrible thing and they have this like immense guilt, and then that's when they like switch. As I kind of talked about in my religion video, I think when humans have like an extremely powerful situation or emotion that they're going through, like say like grief, that's also like a huge driver to religion, because like how do you carry that? Like, say you like lost like your whole family in like a car accident or something. Like, you would have to, like, you can try and imagine in your head what that would feel like, but like that would be like world altering. Like, that would be actually like reality shifting. And I think when you become that, maybe like just like separated from reality, or maybe not like reality, but like how would you move on? How would you just be like, okay, well, such is life. So like, I fully understand why guilt would turn people to, because it's like you have all of a sudden are doing like so much self-reflection. If you said killed someone and you're like 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 you'd be like, I am a killer. Okay. Like, duh, I am a killer. This sucks. How do I deal with this? But it's like one of those things where I feel like you would be so your mind, you wouldn't be able to wrap your mind around it. And I think having like some sort of pathway and like structure to absolving yourself of guilt, aside from like obviously going to like prison, like I think is what's attractive to people, and is why people either convert to a religion or I don't know. But okay, next what I wanted to talk about though is I kind of talked about the like one-off cases where like a single event will happen and someone like converts, but there's many such cases of people that are like actively shitty and horrible while simultaneously being super religious. Coming to mind are like the Tate brothers, that dude Sneeko, who I don't even know what the fuck he does. Like, I will just see every once in a blue moon when I just want to like spike my cortisol, I'll like open Twitter and it'll be something about that Sneeko dude. And I think that and so those examples, like the Tate brothers and Sneeko, where they're kind of like in contradiction to their religion with how they live their life, but also like posting pictures of themselves like praying and stuff. It's like, It's not adding up. It's not adding up. But I feel like maybe people become like guiltaholics and prayaholics. Me just describing like a religious person. But I feel like if you rely on that kind of as a crutch too much, like if you're like, oh, well, I got away with doing this because I prayed, I can keep doing bad things. And I think that's how we get like Andrew Tates and Sneakos, because obviously if they were just doing the shit that they do and being as evil as they are by itself, like no religion, I feel like the guilt would like eventually catch up with you. Like if you were just like running a fucking Romanian brothel, you would probably, like, if you didn't have mental gymnastics to go through, you would be like, like I'm a monster. So I feel like, there's also the people that, oh, and my light died. Cool. Okay, my light dying fully derailed my train of thought. I just want to say, since we're in the middle of this, in the meat and potatoes, still, once again, not coming for any religion. I'm just coming for people that only rely on their religion and penance to their religion instead of actual justice. And on that note, justice is, I think, that sounded like so like transition to like ad read for some reason. And on that note, this is sponsored by the Justice Department. Who do you want sent to prison? Go to justice.com. Reeling it in. I think that's what gets left out most of the time when people do this. Like you can go to prison, even though that's like, the prison system is a whole other thing. And I feel like people don't really get their justice all the time through the courts and everything. Hello. But like in the Mark Wahlberg case, like imagine how it feels to be a victim of a fucking hate crime, be permanently blinded, only to see like your attacker get like $8 billion in movie roles and have his like image fully repaired because he is like Catholic now, and even though he has never reached out to you. Like, that's crazy. And that's I withstood a lot of Kanye West controversies, but honestly what really did it for me was like kind of around like 2019, 2020 when he like did this like evil man to like Christian pipeline trick. And well, I just didn't want to listen to fucking gospel music, so there was that that kind of didn't add any appeal to him for me. But it was just so obvious what he was doing. It's like, okay, like, because I think he was like, he's like all about Jesus before, but it's like immediately after doing something really bad, being like, hallelujah. I don't know. And it's been really interesting to see how people are like picking up on this. Like I saw this tweet. It was like, if someone puts like it's kind of suspicious now if someone suddenly in like a week like fully converts to religion. It's like, what did you do? Just wondering. Who did you kill? Where is the body buried? Just wondering. Because, you were posting net spend on your story and the story on Instagram was like a picture of like a line of Coke or like a lean cup, and it was net spend, and now you are at your local congregation. You're at your fucking mega church and like watching them do backflips. I don't know. I just like it's just so, it's funny because it's so obvious. It's just so obvious when people do this. And I feel like they really think they're getting away with it. And I think the reason why it still happens is because they do get, I mean, obviously, like in Mark Wahlberg's case, got away with it. Got away with it. Kanye West literally it is still like, he's like selling out arenas and like I guess like, there's the whole other kind of conversation of like people that get canceled and like North American or like Western artists that get canceled and then like start careers in like other countries. Like they'll move to China and do a bunch of shows where it's like, I don't know, that's a whole other anthropological study to be done. But I think that it works because, you know, also if you pander to, you know, maybe, I mean, I think like a lot of religious people are very, like, I mean, one of the core tenets of like Catholicism is to like open your arms to everyone and be welcoming to everyone. So I think that's like a natural thing to like accept people even though they're like horrible humans. And it's like, that's why you have like priests that like pull up to prisons when someone's like about to get like executed for like their crimes. It's because like they still believe in like, I don't even know. Like, you would not see me pull up to a prison and be like, you know what? Hey, buddy, old pal. Listen, I heard you got in some trouble, but we're gonna pray this rosary, and you might not go to hell. And that's also one thing. Okay, not to dive too deep into specific religious things, but it's like I've always wondered. It's like, if you, like, they say you can repent your sins, you can do confession, and then you won't go to hell. But it's like what's like the limit for that? I'm curious. I'm just wondering, like, can you, like, could you theoretically put a nuke in the middle of the planet and blow up the planet and then pray, and then like pray once, and then that like absolves all of those sins? Like, is it like a refresh? Is it like when you like clear your like your camera roll, or like you're recently deleted, and then you're like, whoop, okay, and it could be like 10,000 photos, and it like takes 1 second? How does that work? I'm curious. I wonder. Tokyo Tony voice. I wonder. What is that from? Where she says, how'd you get this job? I wonder. Dream guests on my podcast, guys. Guys, I think I'm going to start getting guests on this podcast. Guys, changes to the podcast soon. This setup by me ain't fucking working. Ain't working. I needed to have something proper, but not an actual set. You know how some people's podcasts look like it's like filmed on like a backlot of like a foreclosed like Disney sitcom? No. I'm not talking about doing that. No. But like, this is the desk where I eat my like fucking lunch and like play Call of Duty. So, you know, I need a little bit of like church and state, for lack of a better metaphor here. Anyway, I hope I come back alive from this experiment that I'm working on. Probably by the time you see this, the video will be coming out soon. It's certainly something. Also kind of religion related. And that's all I'll say on that. But not really, but kind of. Do you like my hoodie? It says, this is actually, I wish I could sell this as merch, but this is someone else's. Addicted to everything, and it's got shit. Wrapping this whole thing up, I'm just gonna say once again, because I know people love to get fanatical, I love all religions, and I love that people can deal with their guilt through religion. I love that. I love it. Keep on doing it, guys. Keep on sinning, and keep on unsinning when you say I'm sorry for sinning. But also, just know that you still have to deal with the consequences on this earth, on this very planet that we all walk. And actually, I think you're doing a disservice to the religion that you claim to be a part of if you don't. Because you look at pretty much any religion, and it won't just say, you know, pray and you're good. No, you got to put the elbow grease in too, and you got to atone, and you really got to think about it. But also, no one should just live in guilt forever. Like, that's fucking miserable too. Like, I think it's also probably not the best. I wonder what it would feel like to be like an atheist and commit murder, and then you're just like living with that and you have like no way to like, I guess you just go to prison and then you come out and then you're like, well, I'm a fucking murderer. Well, I guess you're always a murderer if you murder someone. Like, but if you're But so like I just think you should have some way to become a better person, to look at what you've done and become a better person because of it. Because what are mistakes if you don't fucking learn from them? That's a question. I actually don't remember what the rest of that saying is. They're I feel my brain capacity shrinking recently, and I think it's because there is actually black mold in these walls. Like when I moved into here, they gave me like this pamphlet about black mold, and I just skipped over it because like it's been in every single one of my apartments, pretty much, of the past 7 years. But I'm moving, and this is going to be my studio. So excited for that. Excited to breathe fresh air. Excited to explore what a sporeless environment could be like. Anywho, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Maybe there will be new fun set. I need to make a mood board of what I want, because like there's really no vibe for this podcast. Like it's just like Calibri font, and that's about it. I want like just a fun little corner. I just want a little corner in my house with a little nook with like a desk where I can have a camera set up, where it's not like the shit that I rearrange in my house every time I film a podcast. My couch is upside down against the fucking wall because I had to move it because I have 4 inches of space. So, would love to. Maybe it'll be next episode. Maybe it'll be later. We'll fucking see. We'll see. But thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Make sure you follow the podcast Instagram at Drama Mama. That's 2 Drama Mamas. With that all being said, have a holy, blessed Thursday. They're calling Thursday the new Sunday because it's so holy. Okay. Love y'all. Bye.